guys! So I was thinking, I asked you on Instagram, the ones of you that follow me there, if you wanted to get my opinion on Inktober and the pros and cons that I feel is worth mentioning about Inktober. So I did Inktober this year and I finished it. This is the first time that I ever finished Inktober, and I'm honestly pretty proud because I did it in all black and white as well, and I haven't done that before. Last year I made my own list and I did it in watercolor, so that was like twice cheating. But this year I did everything in black and white, but I had my own list. So my list was the creepy creatures one. I mean, I'm most comfortable with drawing creatures anyway, like animals kind of creatures. So I knew that if I'm gonna finish this, it should be something that I'm already comfortable with. So I made it a little bit easier for myself, but I finished, and yeah, I've got some opinions about this. I feel like we're gonna start with pros and then get over to the cons afterwards. So the pros. I feel like I learned a lot through this Inktober. Since I usually use watercolor, I don't work that much with contrast. Learning how to get active white space and to make everything pop out, because you usually try to have different levels in your drawing so that it has depth. But that's tricky when you only have two colors to work with. And I tried to stay away from like the gray tones as well, so it was strictly black ink pen and then the white of the paper. But I had to work more with textures and how to make the character pop in its environment. And I learned so much. It was sort of like a moment where it just clicked and I was like, oh, that's what I've been missing. It was almost like a light bulb, you know, like, oh, this is how you do it. So I feel like that's such a good point to reach through this month, because you have to draw every single day, right? 31 drawings in 31 days. I also got to the point where it was like finished not perfect. I think it was Jake Parker actually that said that. So that fits since Inktober. Like, I've always been really harsh on myself. I spent quite a lot of time just working with the tiny details on my drawings and my paintings, and I never feel like I'm finished. But during Inktober you don't really have the luxury of actually waiting and like being really picky, like starting over and stuff. You have to be finished with it, and you have to post a drawing every single day. Well, you don't have to, of course you can be a day late, but the point is to post a drawing every single day. So you get a little bit less picky and just work with what you have. I'm also really happy that I got to try a new medium. I mean, I've worked with ink before, but not strictly just ink. I usually use watercolor as well, but I use black ink as liner. And I've also worked with Indian ink before because it's waterproof. So just working with black and white counts as a new medium, right? I'd also like to bring in the community part of it, because this year I did something a little bit different. I invited my followers on Instagram to join in on my prompt list that I had made for myself, so that we did it together. We posted the same prompt every day together. It was such a nice feeling. It was so much fun, and I mean, I was so surprised by how many people that actually joined in on my Inktober. And so I had this thing where I shared every single day, like I reposted on my story every entry to my Inktober prompt, all the different interpretations of the same creatures that I had drawn, and in a totally different way. Like, it's so much fun to see how other people's brain work, how something so specific in my head can be so different in someone else's. And I feel like that's what it is when you follow the official Inktober list as well, because you're a community. I mean, you work together, you follow the same prompts, and it's so inspiring in so many ways. So next year I think I'm gonna try to follow the official one, maybe, if I dare. It's also about since it's the finished not perfect aspect of it. I mean, when I post a drawing to Instagram, I'm very thorough. I read the caption maybe 7 times. I read it to friends to just double check that it sounds right. I take probably like 10 pictures and tweak them and then choose which ones I should post. It might not look like it, but there's a lot of thought behind it. And during this month, I realized that I couldn't spend as much time as I usually use to post the pictures to Instagram, because not only was I drawing every single day, I had to post it every single day, so I couldn't use like an hour to post a picture to Instagram. So it's sort of like not lowered the bar but it was easier for me to actually post something because I realized that it's not that important. It can be just what it is, and that was also a really nice feeling because I'm an anxious person. I'm a classic overthinker, so to be able to just leave my head somewhere else and just post it without being like, oh, but does it look right? Oh, is that a typo? Oh no! Like, just to chill a little bit. So I'm gonna keep on doing that in the future so that it doesn't turn into this anxious ridden thing, because I really enjoy it. So if I'm gonna keep enjoying it, I shouldn't be so hard on myself. And I'm really happy that I learned this from this month. Over to the cons. Are you ready? First of all, let's not kid ourselves. It's stressful to draw 31 drawings in 31 days. It's bound to be. Even if you sketch every day, to have a finished piece every day for 31 days, it's stressful. And I mean, I am a little bit burned out. Not as much as I was last year, but I don't have the urge to pick up a pen because I'm a little bit like penned out. And there's a lot of pressure. It's not necessarily that the people around you or your followers or whatever has this pressure on you, but it's more like you want to finish it because it's a challenge. It's supposed to be an end to it down the line. So it's still like a lot of pressure on yourself, not only to draw every single day, but to be at least a little bit happy with it. It has to be a black and white, but it doesn't have to be. That's the thing. I feel like you do Inktober the way you're comfortable with. Like, I started smoothly and gradually I'll make it more difficult for myself. But for me at least, it was like, okay, it has to be ink, it has to be something that I'm partly satisfied with. I have to post every day. And with the day, it's so funny because in Bergen, in Norway right now, the sun goes down at 3. So if I haven't taken a picture or finished the drawing and taken a picture of it before 3, it's too dark to get a good picture of it. And I think it happened twice or maybe 3 times that I had to post it, the drawing, the next day. Another thing is that I've noticed that I think it was around the 12th day, 11th or 12th day, that's when shit happens. That's when I feel like a lot of people get stuck. That's like a barrier that I have to get through. And it's tricky because you've gotten so far. And if you lose one day around this mark where you start to get stuck, it's so hard to get back on track. If you get through it, that's really good. But still, I mean, I don't blame anyone for giving up around the 12th day mark because I felt it for sure. And the 12th day was actually my birthday because my birthday is on the 12th of October. So the day after my birthday, I was like, oh no, I don't want to do this today. I have leftover cake, I have soda to drink, like, oh, not today. But I got through it though, so that was nice. For the last point on the cons part of this video, I feel like this is an issue that a lot of people noticed this year. I don't remember it that much from last year, but then again, Instagram had a different algorithm back then. My posts, they started off good. I think most people started off good in Inktober, like the first couple of days. Got a lot of exposure and it was like the community part was really, really booming and everyone was like psyched and ready for Inktober. But it got really bad. And I'm not the kind of person that counts the likes and counts the followers and stuff like that. Or at least I try not to be that person because sometimes it's hard not to be. But when it drops that badly, it's hard not to notice and it's hard not to be like, well, why? What's going on? And is it because it's not good enough? So I started with a pretty solid, I think it was 2000 and something on my first picture, but I noticed that the further I got, it dropped down to like 500. In a normal month when I post like every other day or maybe 2 times a week, that never happens. I mean, that's a rare occasion that it drops that badly. And yeah, I mean, it was demotivating and I can understand that it was demotivating for a lot of people. If you feel like this is like something that you're gonna do for 31 days, it should be a boost, that, I mean, that it is like a community thing, right? It's supposed to be more exposure, more communication in between accounts. It should be like something fun, but it's tricky when you feel like no one sees what you do and what you put so much work into, in a way, or you put so much energy into, and it doesn't really get the attention you sort of expected. I think I got a few new followers. I actually hit, it's crazy, but I actually hit 10,000 followers on Instagram in October, and yeah, what's that about? So that happened, and I'm really happy about that. So, but still, I felt like the followers count went a little bit slower in October. Probably, I mean, my theory is that since so many artists started posting every single day, in your feed, everything must just like, so people might not see you. I mean, since the exposure thing happens when apparently people comment on your picture, and that makes it pop up in their feed. I mean, there's too much to comment on, and there's too much to like everything, and it's too much to actually scroll through like 500 posts about Inktober. And like some other friends of mine on Instagram said that maybe it was a glitch because of the hashtag as well, because most people use the Inktober hashtag. But who knows? I mean, it's over now. So now it's back to basics, and I'm gonna keep bringing the stuff that I learned through Inktober with me when I paint. And I thought I might show you what I used of ink through Inktober. I used, actually, if you saw my last scroller box unboxing with the ink scroller box, I used a lot from that box. I wasn't kidding when I said, like, told you in that box that that box saved me.
So these are all the pens that I used through Inktober. This first one is the Pentel brush pen. It was really nice to use on large black areas since it fills up the space really well. And it's also nice for more delicate details. This next one is the Central Pen CD DVD BD pen. And this one I also used a lot for the black spaces. I actually used this so much that it's dried a bit out. I think it's almost empty, as you can see here. This next one is a regular ballpoint pen. It's by Energel, so it's a liquid gel pen. And this was just nice to have for line work. It's really smooth and it's really nice. I don't usually use ballpoint pens, but I was really pleasantly surprised by this one. And this is the Art Liner. It's a felt tip pen, and it's, yeah, I always use felt tip fine liners. And this one is just like a regular old black fine liner. I use this a lot for hatching when I did those kind of textures, because it has such a fine nib that it works a lot with details. And the last one is the Pigma Bb Pad. It's a very unique pen with a very soft nib, so you can cover a lot of black spaces with it too, and it is also kind of see-through, so you can get different kinds of blackness with it. Now let's look through all the Inktober pieces I did this year. First we have Loch Ness Monster, Adimento, Amit, Kelpie, Itan Moomin, Vendigo, Zombie, Kodama, Black Chuck, Nukken, Jackalope, Bubak, Shelob, Werewolf, Kamai Taichi, Slenderman, Wan Shi Tong, Hufsa, Drop Bear, Glitch, Cerberus, No Face, Inkanyamba, The Silence, Frankenstein's Monster, and The Pale Man. And I also want to talk a bit about my favourite pieces from Inktober. So this is Black Chuck, and I'm really satisfied with how I managed to get the texture of his fur and his black suit. The next one is the Yeti, and in this one I was trying to think a lot about active white space because Yeti is known to be white, and I think I managed to get the point across. This is my favorite of all of them. This is the Werewolf one, where I put a white figure inside of his body to show the human in agony. And this is No Face, and to be honest, I'm just really happy with all the details that I managed to get into his mouth, like all the dots on his tongue and his teeth, and yeah, I'm just really happy with him. And this is Hufsa, and I really liked the way I managed to get her outline without actually having an outline. So I used the white of the Hattie Fatness to show where her body ends.
So that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching this one. And if you have any suggestions, if you have anything that you want me to talk about, please comment it down below. I'm not good at replying to comments yet. I have this thing when I post a video, I just post it and then I run away. And I don't look at it for like a week. But I'm gonna get better at it. It's just my, you know, it's weird looking at your own face, right? So, but I'm gonna be better at it, I promise. Because I really love doing this. So I still want to like communicate with you guys. So yeah, I'll be in the comment section from now on. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.